This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Tuesday, the 3rd of September. I'm Michael Groff. Hot and dry weather returns to the valley this week. Temperatures getting up to near 110 degrees at times. Where in the world is that monsoon moisture? Do we have any rain chances in our forecast? Plus, we'll give you an update on Hurricane Dorian. So a lot going on. Let's talk about it. First, the almanac from yesterday. 106 degrees was the high for your Labor Day. The low 85. We've picked up a trace of rain so far this month. And since last we spoke, we wrapped up the month of August, and if it felt really hot, that's because it was. In fact, it was the second hottest August on record here in Phoenix. Nowhere near the record, though. Back in 2011, we were about 1.5 degrees shy of that for our average temperature. Plus, it was very dry, only 1/4 of an inch, just under 1/4 of an inch officially at Sky Harbor Airport as our very dry monsoon continues. Speaking of, outside right now, here just after 6 a.m., we've got partly cloudy skies out there to start this day. 86 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 64, humidity 49%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Temperatures around the area right now, it's in the mid-70s at Fort McDowell, but most of us are in the 80s. Rather warm start to the day again. The upper air look this morning. High pressure is the dominant weather feature here across the southwest. There's a trough over the northeast, and that is creating a weakness in the ridge, which will allow Dorian to move very, very slowly to the north. More about that in a moment. The watch warning map, yes, we have an excessive heat warning in effect for the valley. Once again, that's from tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. through 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Elsewhere, some hurricane warnings for the Florida coast and watches further to the north up along the Georgia and Carolina coasts. And the severe weather outlook for today, we've got the standard slight risk to include places like Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, Grand Rapids, with a marginal risk for some of the adjacent areas, another marginal risk with the outer bands of Dorian affecting the Florida East Coast. All right, let's look at the tropics. There's a lot happening here. 4 storms. Actually, there's 5 areas of concern on the board in the Atlantic Basin. We've got one just coming off the African coast, another one west of that, well west of the Cape Verde Islands. There's another wave east of Dorian. There's tropical depression number 7 out over the western Gulf, and then there's Dorian. Well, let's look at this system out over the western Gulf. This is expected to develop into a tropical storm over the next day or so. Should move into the Mexican coast, creating quite a bit of rain there in parts of South Texas around Brownsville. So certainly something to watch. You always have to keep your eye on these Gulf storms, but it just looks like this is going to be a big bag of rain for those areas. Let's give you the latest on Dorian, though. Satellite presentation, very impressive. Although now, since it's been sitting pretty much over the same spot, this is a 24-hour satellite loop you're looking at. This thing has hardly moved. It's moved, 40, 50 miles at most in the last day or so, maybe not even that far, because its forward speed now is to the northwest at 1 mile per hour. And because it's been sitting over the same spot for a while, upwelling has occurred. That's where the cooler waters from beneath the surface are getting churned up, and that's weakening the system at least a little bit. It's now down to a Category 3 maximum sustained winds, 120 miles per hour. Still a devastating and very dangerous system lurking off the Florida East Coast. And Florida not completely out of the woods. You're still going to get outer bands from this system, occasional hurricane force winds, and that's why they still have hurricane warnings for at least a good portion of the east coast of Florida. All right, closer to home, the precipitation outlook valid through next Tuesday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts here in the valley anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. Of course, your amount will vary. Some spots across the state could certainly see more. So does that mean the monsoon's coming back? Well, let's find out as we check out the models. Have a look at it. This is the GFS, the 06Z run valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. High pressure centered over Colorado, normally a pretty favorable location to bring monsoon moisture in, southeasterly flow aloft, but the mid-levels of the atmosphere are pretty warm and stable, and somewhat drier air is working its way around, again, especially in the mid-levels. So, down at the surface today, isolated mountain showers and thunderstorms will be possible, but for the most part, we're going to be mostly sunny and dry today, highs 105 to 108. Tonight, mostly clear skies, lows in the 80s. Then tomorrow, isolated mountain showers and storms again, but we're going to just be mostly sunny and hot. Highs getting up to near 110 degrees, just when you thought we were done with the 110s. Thursday still looks hot, mostly sunny skies, isolated mountain storms, highs 105 to 109. Same thing on Friday, we might take a degree off the temperatures. Over the weekend, an increase in moisture is expected as high pressure gets into a better position to advect moisture in, as well as troughing setting up off the Pacific Northwest coast. So, widely scattered showers and storms over the mountains. I guess we could see something in here in the deserts as well, but I've kept it Saturday dry. But temperatures are going to start to tail off just a bit with the increased moisture and the presence of troughing moving on to the west coast. Highs right around 105. On Sunday, we'll probably have highs dropping off another degree or two. And then Monday, this looks like it could be the best chance of rain that we see here in the valley. Scattered to numerous showers and storms over the mountains. Some of those get into the deserts. High temperatures upper 90s to about 100 as we see our trough beginning to move through the western states. This could be a transitional event where we go from the moist monsoonal flow back to dry conditions. But the good news is maybe cooler temperatures. Check it out. A week from today, this is Tuesday, the 10th of September, troughing over the western states. Southwesterly flow, the heights coming down. Temperatures probably pretty close to normal. That means highs right around 100 degrees. Then go down 10 days. This is the end of the forecast period. Thursday, the 12th of September, ridging overhead again, and temperatures may start to recover, but the air mass would stay dry. Temperatures through the period coming off of the European ensemble. It's got us at 110 tomorrow and then gradually lowering, especially by the time we get into early next week. It's got highs dropping into the 90s. That looks pretty good. Those overnight lows tailing off just a bit as well. Yes, we are creeping ever closer to fall here in Phoenix. That's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you like our videos, be sure to subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Your comments, questions, and suggestions always encouraged as well. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Be safe out there. Have a fantastic Tuesday.